One is HOD for science. Okay, so he's taking care of teachers from science department lah. Basically chemistry, physics and biology. So we have all the three sciences in our school. Ustaz Abu Bakar Siddiq heading the Islamic Studies department, in charge of the Arabic as well as IRK and Dirasat Diniyah. Okay, so Dirasat and Quran also. Yes, and Quran, sorry, more Ustaz. Okay, so there are 4 areas that is under Ustaz punya purview, where dia akan guide the teachers as well. As for me, I'm in charge of maths. Okay, I'm maths HOD, mathematics and additional maths. So, is there any questions you might want to forward?
How many hours you are teaching for biology or science for 1 week? How many?
We have pure sciences. We have 5 periods.
It depends on the science subject itself and also the level. Okay.
For you yourself, how many hours for 1 week?
For myself, 1 week. I don't count.
Okay, we come by
around.
So the classes, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 6, and 18. Yeah, 8, 4, 6, 7, 24.
24 periods.
About that.
Each period is half an hour.
Yeah.
So it's 24 minutes, 12 hours
12 hours.
per week.
Because HODs kita ada administration duty, hence the teaching is a bit lesser compared to the normal teachers lah. Kalau teachers, they would have a bit, they would have 30 to 35 periods lah.
How long for one class?
One period is half an hour. Sometimes it's normally 2 or 3 lah.
For every subject.
Not for every, depending on the level as well. Kalau
Like
macam,
Islamic study for how long for 1 period?
Quran, we have 3 periods per week. So it's 2 plus 1 not 3 at all.
But each period 30 minutes.
Yes.
30 minutes.
but sometimes pun boleh kena one period.
Oh, yeah.
Because it depends when we set the timetable, because I'm doing the timetable. Okay, so when we set the timetable, normally we will see the classes the teachers have to go into, and then also how packed or jammed that their period is within that day lah. Jadi we try to not stress the teacher out by having too many periods consecutively. Jadi when we set the timetable, we make sure every day not maximum tak boleh sampai more than 9 periods. 8 periods pun dah terlalu banyak.
8 period with how many subjects?
For one particular teacher lah. Tapi as per class, we have about 70 periods kan. 70 periods kan Ustaz?
7:30 all the way to 3 o'clock.
For some classes even to 4.
Yeah.
For the better class.
In the 21st century era, that we know that the student behavior is changed from our age before. Do you think 30 minutes is enough, or is too length for the student? Is too long for the student? 30
Too long
minutes.
for the student.
Yeah, they do complain lah.
It's short or long?
Long. They complain. It's a long
Isn't
period.
it?
Because 7:30 until they say until 3:30 or something.
In terms of the period, one period 30 minutes, I think is sufficient. However, because when it comes to upper secondary, for certain subject we need to link it to 3 period, because kalau 2 period is too short, and 1 period is too short, especially when you want to cover a certain concept. So jadi like when I discuss with my team, timetable team, on how to organize the timetable, we will look at all these aspects. Okay, which class are we going to give and which teacher? And we also, because the teachers are also our colleague and we know them personally, we know their health status, we know their problems and things like that they shared with us, it's a bit easier for us to really consider their ability in teaching the classes lah.
What I want to know, the issue is that the time for the student today, is it enough? The 30 minutes, is it can affect the student learning capability for 30 minutes, or we should only 20 minutes for the new era? It's a challenge because I asked school in Indonesia, in Malaysia, every school have problem with the time period? Because in your perception or in your idea, what do you think?
Okay,
the
I've
time
gone to a
suitable time?
school where they have one period lesson as 1 hour. Okay, in Singapore itself, I go for lesson studies in certain schools in Singapore. So I have seen schools with 1 hour. I have seen school with 45 minutes, and I think half an hour is the shortest that we have in Singapore. So previously, when we were like in early 2000, in 2009, we even had our school have a time period of 25 minutes.
25
25 minutes. So we try to play around because at that time we have primary and secondary. So we have to be able to link every subject, everything within a 1 day time frame. So primary school in the morning, secondary school in the afternoon, you know. So we have to be able to divide. Jadi kita buat 25 minutes. Okay. But I think 30 minutes is quite sufficient for one or two concept. Tapi kalau kita nak cover a bigger concept, I think we need more time lah. In terms of whether students can absorb what our learning atau our teaching will be dependent on the teacher's ability to teach and get the students interested, because I've seen teachers who were able to teach students for 1 hour and students are really interested in the tak tidur pun, tak ada budak pun tidur dalam kelas, you know. So I guess it depends on the skill of the teachers as well.
The 20 minutes is too short.
Yeah.
Because besides teaching the concept, we have to make them practice and we have to go around check their work. So yeah, 30 minutes is sometimes too short also lah.
Yeah, 30 minutes too
Yeah.
short.
Especially for maths, you know, it's like, I mean for lower primary, fine, you know, but as they go higher up, there's a lot of concept to cover. And if you look at Singapore syllabus, we are taking Cambridge GCEO. Jadi nak tak nak kita kena alignkan with what is being taught in the ministry as well. Pasal budak-budak kita take the national exam.
Sekolah kerajaan, how long take time?
About the
period?
same.
35-40 minutes lah.
Yeah,
Same,
about the same. Dia ada 30, ada 45.
But there's
ada-
no compulsory from the government like you should have this period.
No.
What, no.
It's up to
It
us to
depends.
decide. Every school in Singapore are given the decision to decide on their own. In that sense.
Tapi in practice tiap-tiap subjek itu 2 period turut-turut kan.
Ya, one after another lah. Biasanya kita cuba buat
We
macam
ada
itu.
selektif itulah kalau bila.
Kecuali untuk Quran because dia kena talaki kan. Jadi if the teacher is teaching straight, one period could be very tiring. Jadi kita cuba letak setengah jam and then another day setengah jam, another day setengah jam, ataupun kalau tak ada then 1 jam dan setengah jam.
When we talk about the 21st century education, from your perception, what you think it is about? The 21st century education,
Gambar.
pelajaran
Okay.
abad 21.
Pada saya lah, it's acquiring of skills lah. The skills that we need the students to have. So because looking forward, okay, in the future, apa anak-anak kita perlu ada. Maknanya they are able to communicate, okay, interact. All these are important other than just knowing maths, English, science and things like that. Okay, so the soft skills are as important as the content subject. And then if we look at the technologies, okay, our students should be able to follow up with the technology as well as willing to learn. So the willingness to learn, to adapt to something new is also a skill that we need to teach our students. Pasal kita ada in zaman dulu where our parents are not willing to move on into the computer century, you know. Tapi jadi kita kena bimbing anak-anak kita supaya kita tak tahu apa akan datang in the future, in the next 50 years. I don't know what the technology will be, but I need to teach my students to be able to adapt with the changes.
What about the science teachers?
Yeah, science is still important that they must be able to collaborate. Collaboration with us, and then having the inquiry mind to test hypotheses and so on. So that's communication. So we integrate like presentation in our and do the project work. All these satu skill will come in, you know, and able to do some research work. Yeah.
Any idea from the
For myself, because my department kita ada satu subjek baru nama DD, tadi Dirasat Diniyah. I'm the so-called, we started in MUIS the Majlis Agama Islam Singapura, the one that govern the Islamic. So from there, I started with the foundation, the curriculum. I was the curriculum developer there. So I came back here to set up that thing about 4 years back. So we started for JMS. JMS is a joint madrasah system for our students who are in the together. We Irsyad and Ajunik, we are together.
Yeah.
So this DD or Dirasat Diniyah is a specialized subject where we combine 5 subjects Islam: fiqh, hadith, sirah, Al-Quran, and hadith. One is akhlaq. All these are integrated into one curriculum. When we teach them, we are not teaching them as per subject. We are teaching them as per team.
Islamic study.
Yeah, thematic. So we have Muslim with Allah and the Messenger, Muslim with family, Muslim with neighbors, and Muslim with the environment. On four terms, right? So each term is one team.
Yeah.
So with that base, we plug in all the subjects into that teams. So it becomes so dynamic because they learn now how to look at things in a different perspective. So let's say we talk BGR, boy girls relationship, in Sec 2, because we believe at Sec 2 they must know how Islam look at BGR. We have things like conservation of environment, alam semesta macam mana at Sec 2, Sec 3, because we at this time they are more mature. So we talk all the things, relevant issues in the world, because we believe our students must be critical thinkers. One of these be critical thinking, and in class we want them to speak up, we want them to say how about this. It's right or wrong is one thing, but you as a da'i, Muslim da'i, professional, you must be able to speak up. People will see at you. Even though we are not like Ajuni is more for the ukhra, we become Al-Azhar. We are not. Some of us become professional. Scientists, so because we are more on the academic. But we want them to be Muslim professional who are able to articulate, able to voice out their view, because you are a Muslim. Then you are a scientist or whatever, and from there you want to see how. So in class we want them to speak up, we want them to feel that Islam is something that is in your life, it's holistic, and not something we learn last time. It's only actually about tahara. How does tahara works? If you are at the sea, how do you practice tahara? If you are in the house, so we want them to think all beyond the classroom. So this is what I think is the critical thinking of our students. We are still lacking, we can see that, but we hope they become more confident Muslims and even problem solver like in the future. So what DD is trying to put that is that when they learn science, even they match, they are able to apply in their life. We don't want students to know in the class, at the end when they talk about life, they say, oh no, I have got nothing to do with life. But now Islam, we must apply in life. Because it's manhajul hayah, we all know that Islam is a way of life. So unless they can see Islam is solving their problems, then they will see Islam is just but my religion. So that's how we have to push them to that area. We are still in the process lah, because we just start with the first wave, so we are moving on. So yeah, inshallah, I hope this really will make them feel that Islam is something more something that we feel happy to learn about Islam, not something that just a facts. No, it's not about the facts. It's more how you apply in your life. That's what makes them feel, yeah, I want to learn about this. Is good. Teach me about BGR, because BGR I heard from my friend, but that friend is not your reliable source. You must learn from the right authority.
The team include English teacher, include mathematics teacher.
No, this one is just okay. We do have infusion of say maths and Islam, science and Islam. We do have infusion, but that is just kind of like an enrichment sessions lah, where we will teach basically the content of what should be covered for O level. Alright, but we do have workshops and enrichment where we infuse Islam into maths. Like recently during the September holiday, one of my teachers did geometrical in Islam, geometry and Islam, okay, on the structured or structural buildings, you know, and how geometry relates. Islam is very relatable to geography. So like science also, they did it last term. Mid-year.
Post-exam mid-year.
Mid-year.
I think Islam and science. So for example, talk about the past historical, the contribution of the Muslim scientists to make them more interested in science.
Maybe the biology, we are the Muslim biology scientists.
In fact, even now, when we did our first one of our science carnival in 2013, we relate the past Muslim scientists and the present
Tamadun
current
Islam.
Tamadun Islam. Jadi we have posters actually all over. I mean, we have posters, right? I think,
We are talking so much about the student background. Because for the 21st century education, we concern about the student background, the variety of the student. Do you have a technique like to know the individual of the student in your course, in your classroom?
Individual.
Meaning, if we know the background, the
Yes.
problems, and this,
Yes.
okay.
We have like
Actually, we do have a counselor, teacher counselor. Our teachers himself, we have two men and a female who are also teaching and also counseling the students. But I think all our teachers are also equipped to help our students if
I
they
want to
have
know
problem.
about the classroom level for in your subject, like in mathematics. How do you know the student they have the different background, their knowledge background?
Oh, knowledge
Yeah,
background.
yes.
Okay. Because we start them at Sec 1 and they have already sit for PSLE, meaning they have a certain level of understanding of primary knowledge. Hence, when we teach them at secondary, we covered according to their ability lah. However, our school, we do not have normal academic stream anymore. We are focusing more to the express stream lah. Meaning we take our students as they are able to solve. Bila kita nampak pelajar-pelajar ni sekiranya dia menghadapi masalah, if they face problems while doing, then we would call them, we even call the parents and discuss. So this one of our the ways we try to solve problems when we find our students are not able to cope.
because we have all their data.
Yeah lah.
We have
Yeah,
their
that's
grades. We have their grades. So even our school, we rank
Yeah.
and then put them into 3 different classes. So when teacher go in, so more or less they know their ability for the classes.
It means that before student come to the class, you already know their background.
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
we already-
Yeah. And then in terms of their personal problem, we have this program where one-to-one, the form teacher, the form class of the teacher will have a session with students, every student, for about 10 minutes every day.
Yeah, for
Can
3
you
days.
elaborate
yeah.
more about one-to-one? It's
For
very
example,
interesting.
for example, during the reading program, teacher will select one student, and then they will talk about how's their life, what's the problem they're facing, and then so on. So every day they will talk to one student at least for about 10 minutes. Then from there, then if they need further action, they will highlight to management or whatever for help. That's how they got to know the student's background better.
Painting program yang tadi ya?
Yes,
Yes, correct.
so biasanya that kind of program kita ada 1 minggu 3 kali.
Yeah.
So Selasa, Rabu, Khamis. Okay, Selasa untuk English, okay, Rabu untuk bahasa Melayu dan Khamis untuk
Bahasa
bahasa
Arab.
Arab. Jadi dalam masa 30 minit ni, guru-guru the form teachers will call the students up.
Because during the reading program, they got to 2 parts. One is silent reading, where they do nothing but read. The other part is they have that questioning on the thing, right? So during that silent reading, the teacher will take one student out and have a short discussion.
In Islamic studies classroom, do you have any technique to?
No, what happened is we know that these people are from Ishan and some of them from national school, so we have two groups
Yes.
of people.
Yes.
So national school, okay, we talk about Arabic. National school, we expect them to have so-called zero Arabic because what we expect. But Ishan, we know they have a certain level of Arabic competency. What we do is that we will divide them. Go with zero, we will divide into another class. Because with for Ishan, we have to also look at them. Some are good, some are not so good. So we have 2 separate class. In Arabic, when we come to Arabic, the teacher will sit the 2. So the one that is zero or very low competency will sit one, and those a bit better will one. So we have 2 teachers to teach Arabic because we believe that you cannot have one same class for Arabic. The competency level is not the
It
same.
means that for the same level,
Level, yeah,
for the
class.
Islamic study on Arabic, we have 2 class.
Yep. So we call it
Separate class.
ALB.
ALB,
Syllabus B.
the syllabus B and the syllabus
Syllabus
normal, the standard syllabus. So,
So,
this is to
we
actually
crafted
to
our own
level
Arabic.
up.
Is it for Bahasa and English too?
No,
No,
it's only
only
for
for
Arabic. Because Arabic need a certain competency level. Jadi budak Irsyad, it comes from madrasah where they already have the background of Arabic. Tapi budak national school, they don't learn Arabic at all, but
Yeah.
they want to be in the madrasah after they grow up, when they are growing up. So to help them, Ustaz plan the ALB lah. The Arabic B is supposed to be a simpler one where we give them a period of 1 year to catch up. Meaning we will also inform parents when they want to come in. We will inform parents you need to get extra help for your children, your child, so that they can level up within 1 year.
Because our school, our English and Malay results, languages are good lah. Very good. So our problem is the Arabic. So that's why we need to do this.
We need to level up.
This scheme lah, to help. Us.
Actually Arabic kita pun not that bad. Only because the recently je.
Yeah lah. So we have this thing lah. Split them to two. To help them
This
to
one is
level
actually
up.
for the national school. Budak-budak national school yang tak ada background langsung.
For teacher yourself, before you go to the class, do you know your weakness or your strength in teaching?
own.
Yeah, your own. Or do you have any technique to muhasabah, like muhasabah to your own?
Okay, actually our
Ability.
teachers go to a lot of training. Banyak training. Almost a year, we will go to like almost like 5-6 workshop, you know. So
Most of the workshop is what? What kind of the workshop?
It can be content, it can be
Pedagogy.
pedagogy, it can be student development. So it can be various. Okay, ada first aid, ada counselling, ada content macam myself. Okay, every year we will go for courses. So we have teachers keep upgrading themselves, like in terms of knowledge and education itself.
For myself, when I started to do DD, this new subject kind of thing, I was so-called being mentored by a consultant, Canadian consultant, Dr. Susan Clayton. She came from Canada, and this actually engaged her for the 3 madrasah. And I was always with her for the past.
Who's
Dr. Susan Clayton.
Zuzi?
Susan Clayton.
Susan Clayton.
She's very good with
UBD.
understanding by design concept.
Yeah.
So we were taught to adapt that pedagogy for the Islamic studies.
So that means I work with her for pedagogy. So that means every time we learn from her, she will look at us, and until this year also, she come in for the class observation, and always she will tell us, okay, this area
From Canada.
She's from Canada, but it's under Muiz lah. She's not us.
Is Muslim?
No,
No,
she's
no,
not.
no, no.
Muiz
But
Kuwait.
Muiz bayar.
Mashallah.
Because pedagogy, she's one of those who started the UBD from America. So Muiz invested in her to come here to train our teachers the pedagogy of understanding by design, so that the curriculum of Dirasat Dunia can be adapted into that particular pedagogy lah.
But right now, I believe in Ajuddin, Masa Ajuddin, they also adopt for the academic subjects, because they believe disability is for all, and it's true because it can be applied to all subjects. But for our madrasah, our so-called our department is the one that is being doing this lah. So I want to tell you that I've been with her for the past 5-6 years, and she's that mentor to me, and every time she comes in, she will tell me this one and that. So I learn from that. That's why now I'm doing this to my teachers lah. That when I observe them, I will use the same template and what have you, because this is how I was being mentored. So I know exactly what aspect I will look at you. But what she did to me was, she always tell us when before we come in, or she will say, what area do you want me to look at? Because in classroom, there are a lot of things. You want me to look at your, because there's a connect part starting, Qadimah. Then there's the center. So which part? Because she tell us that I can be looking at all, but in the end, when I can talk to you and I can advise you on certain things that is very pertinent to you. So okay, let's say you want me to do what on your assessment. So I will focus on the assessment. Make sure you show me a good one and I will say. But the rest, I believe you can do it. So that's what you say, correct? We know, okay, this one I can do. Don't look at this. This one I'm not so sure. Can you look at me how I do it? So I think that's her role. I want to focus on your weakness and how you come in. So when we know that these people are looking for us, that's when we know that we are being mentored for us. And that's why I was telling my don't look so many things, because so many things you feel so nervous when people look at you. When actually we also as mentor or as also, we cannot see everything. We can see the whole, but then we will zoom in on certain things that we see, this is your weakness. That if you can do this, then you can continue and you will grow better lah. No, you cannot change overnight kan, everybody kan. Takkan nak berubah everything. So a teacher is a teacher starting from zero like myself. So point 1, point 2, point 3, that's why I tell my teacher, don't worry, it's normal for you to make a lot of mistakes. But one point, I will, then you continue, development. And I like the way she do it. She don't feel us very scared. Because usually we are scared when people look at us and everything. But actually, don't be scared. I'm not here to penalize you, to punish you, but I'm here to help you, to groom you to be a good teacher. And I like that actually.
So in a way, it's the mentoring.
Mentoring,
Our
yeah.
teachers are always being mentored. So that's how we
The
also
school
guide.
use your own school curriculum, or you use the national curriculum?
National.
It's compulsory, right, to use the national curriculum in the school.
Yes, we
It's
are
for
doing
the one
for the
forming.
academic.
academic, use
we,
national school.
we use national curriculum. For the teaching of Iraqi and Arabic, they develop their own.
Do you think that your own Islamic study curriculum or content is it
Comparable.
like is it the design is suitable for this 21st century learning, your Islamic studies?
We are moving towards that with DD lah. That's why we started with DD first, and as I have Iraqi, I have call it other subject. So I want to from DD, because I see DD is a good platform lah. Because DD is a UBD. UBD is a concept, it's a pedagogy concept which I learned, and my task is to now make it into the other three subjects.
Because the problem in my country is we are no worry about the academic subject. Singapore as well, we believe they are very strong in the 21st century education. But for the Islamic studies, we have to develop and create our own content and curriculum. So sometimes the objective, the assessment approach is not suitable for the 21st century education. So I just want to know.
Yeah, I believe so, because when DBD was being presented to us, it tells us that this way forward. It's about critical thinking, it's not about critical thinking. It's about real life issues. It's about age appropriateness. Also, all the features of 21st century are being mentioned in UBD. So when we do the DD, we are very focused on this.
background.
So if you ask me, yes, I'm sure that this is the DD is the way forward. That's why I want to move forward with putting DD platform and pedagogies into other three subjects that are under my department.
background การสอนก็ยังไม่ทันก็สอนมากี่ปีแล้ว
We are talking about the classroom design.
Yeah.
I so appreciate for your table and your room.
This is not a typical one.
This is not a typical classroom. This is for practicals.
Yes,
kalau group discussions.
Actually, when we talk about the 21st century education, the classroom should be like this for every classroom.
Yes.
Is
We
that
do
you're going to
have,
do it for your classroom?
Because we are still examination based, where Singapore is still doing writing examination, we are not adapting the UK atau US punya
Evaluation, assessment and
yes,
evaluation.
assessment. I mean not the US kind ataupun New Zealand kind where I've gone. Jadi we do still have the lecture style kind of classroom now, where classroom are in rows, okay, but we do have classes which are designed in a group, where kalau macam the teachers want that kind of lesson, for example, out of say a week, they nak two periods for discussion, then they can bring the children to that kind of classrooms. So even in the new school, inshallah, next year, end of next year, we'll be moving to our new school. It is designed as such. We do have the traditional classroom as well as the modern classroom.
Open space classroom, like
Yes.
How about this sign? This classroom is like a theater design?
Sometimes all the classrooms are the same, just individual, or sometimes we are seeing pairs.
But when you are teaching, do you move the table or you always?
On certain lessons when they do discussion, then we make them to work into groups. Then they just move the table around, say in fours for discussion. Because in science we have this introduced project we call PBL, problem-based learning, where they work in groups, and the teacher just give them a scenario. Then from there, in the groups, they try to solve the problem. So in that part, they have to work in groups. That introduced for my Sec 2. Yeah. So yeah. But I wish I have more of this line. But again, our excuses
But
is we have to cover the
also,
syllabus.
yeah, our excuse is
Yeah.
covering the syllabus to what is required by the MOE lah. Although we do have science lab and all, we try to, inshallah lah, in terms of designing the new school, we try to look at the areas that we really need. So the open classes are, this time around I think we have about seven classes which are open classes.
What about
for
the
discussion.
Islamic studies? Do you just teach it in the classroom or you move out?
Yes,
The design, classroom design.
Because UDD use different pedagogies, the collaborative training, the team based share, a lot of things. So at certain times, because we already have the slides already, we do the curriculum, everything ready for set 1 to all the set 4. So it's just implementing. My task now is actually to grow my teachers to be able to use this and to make sure it's the dynamism. Because as I say, because they are still sitting, but in the end when there are certain things, they have to talk to one another, they have to be in the groups, they have to move. So there's a movement in there. So if you ask me, our assessment also, we are not assessment by writing. At the end of the term, we ask them to do projects. Projects in school, project outside school. So as they are grow older, they do more challenging tasks. From set 1, they will do in school, let's say service learning, they call it service learning. Then we go to outside, when they go for the old folks home, doing some like a humanitarian kind of thing happening there. The second thing, they go to the mosque in Singapore and make a kind of documentary. So we want them to explore. Then with RIA also going to Cambodia for 3 years, not look over there and help them. So we want the students to be able to be a person who can see life as a bigger picture as a student. And what they learn is supposed to be able to apply.
The assessment for mathematics and science.
Because ours is
use
covered
test.
by
Use test.
Still. Jadi we
If 100%, how many you evaluate by test and by project?
Oh, for me, for example, the project TVL, right?
Yeah.
They have we have CA1, CA2. So CA is and the CA2 they get 20% for the project work.
20%
Correct.
and 80%
This
is
is on the test.
test. Mathematics.
for us 100% is based on
test.
on test. However, we do give students read-up projects, you know, where we just want them to have more knowledge. Like for example, infusions of maths and Islam lah. Itu je. But other than that, because the curriculum lah, tak nak for academic areas we have to follow the MOE curriculum. We have to finish. Whereas for Islamic studies, Ustaz can design his own because it's not a national exam requirement.
Do you think the test is needed for the 21st century education?
Personally, I would prefer not to have.
Yeah, I think that's why our government introduced a new scheme
Yeah,
where
next year
they scrap the media exam.
For the next year lah, but
Yes.
it will only start next year.
Like
Jadi we are looking
Finland,
forward.
they have no test anymore.
Yes.
Lesser test, lesser test,
Lesser
not no
test.
test, but lesser
Much
exam,
less.
much lesser.
In DD, when we do this, they are very happy because they know they are not looking for exam. And then we are put 80% for my project,
So the
20%
students are
for
happy,
this. So they say, okay, Ustaz, yeah, you should pass for your DD. You know why? Because when you do project, you do together and you are showing me more things than just what you do on paper.
It means that for in Al Arabiya for Islamic study go to another level, but the academic
We have to,
For the
yes.
test.
No, they want me to help them to go out.
Yeah.
But I have to because I know when I go for that project, I know I'm looking at this because I say we say we need to bring up the Islamic studies. So this is in charge of the all Islamic movement in Singapore. So they want not me only, the other three two madrasah we bring up together. So when they say DD is UBD, it's actually UBD, right? DD is my subject. So UBD is the good strategy for us to move up. So now they say academic subject also can, but we need time to groom for them also because we need to go for the relevant courses lah.
in Thailand we start to use portfolio for admission to the university. It
that's
means that for the university in Thailand, before we have to admission like test, the national test, and go to university. Last year we start to students just send the portfolio.
Okay, how do they collect the portfolio itself? I mean, like for example, subjects like maths. How do they collect the portfolio?
Yeah, look at your CGPA and portfolio in your school, and you submit to the university. University will have a committee to look at your portfolio.
So is it a testimony
Is it testimonial?
or
No, right?
testimonial or what?
It's,
Only what?
it's
Only
all
himself will
their
have
work.
work.
Yeah,
their work.
himself. Portfolio from 4, from 5, from 6,
from primary or secondary level?
From primary.
From primary level. Oh, that's
maybe,
a lot.
No, no.
Maybe-
Secondary.
Yeah, we try and the Thai government try to release all exam to the university, because sometimes there is inequality in education, because
Yes.
the student who go to the university, the student who go to the tuition,
Yes.
it means that
They
the
are
parents
well-off
have the money
family,
to
yes.
support, but the
Same
poor
system as Singapore.
student, the poor family, they have no money to support
Yeah.
the kid, so they cannot seat in the university. So that's why they want to open another channel for the just portfolio.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Also in the medic, in the doctor as well. You just send the portfolio. But we also have some like instrument to test there.
So it's a bit more fair
Yes, it's more
compared
fair.
to countries where people are only the rich can benefit from the
Yes.
education.
Yes. Do you think any staff that you think to support your teaching in the classroom in the 21st century? Do you need more staff or assistant?
Staff as in teachers.
Yes. No, maybe the support the support staff. Maybe
Or resources,
resources.
we need more resources. I think resources memang every year we will look for more resources lah kan, because education is an evolution, but it changes, you know, every year. But I think the resources that we are looking for pun must be accurate to what we want. At the moment, for us,
Teacher training is most important
Yeah.
lah. So if we want the teacher to move into that line, then we must train teacher accordingly lah. For example, that UBD, right? So far only that only his department being trained. So we are
actually I think kita the older generation kita dah, the legacy teachers dah kena train.
yeah, we
Cuma
train, but
dia
we
pula
didn't carry
implement.
out lah. We didn't carry
Yes.
out.
Because theirs is the implementation, they have to do it sebab they don't have any curriculum, whereas for us kita ikut the MOE, the nationalnya kan, so we just ride on aja.
Going to training itu support by school. By madrasah.
NIE. Yeah, we go to the National Institute of Education for our trainings lah. So paid by MUIS, paid by madrasah, and then there are subsidies and sponsorships.
Just want to share in Thailand just some best practice that we can share. Like supported staff. Last year, the Thai government hired engineering about 200 engineering and sent to the school, because the engineering, banyak engineering tak ada kerja kan. So the Thai government hired the engineering for 1 year and send them to the school, one engineering, to teach the robotic and the AI, because computer science engineering, because they want to pioneer the project. And one school, sekolah Azizan, the sekolah agama, the Islamic school, they have collaborate with the Ministry of Science and Technology, astronomy. They hire the astronomers. Astronomers. 3 astronomers duduk kat sekolah.
I memang specialist lah di hire.
Then when we have ada competition, ada test apa berkenaan dengan dalam sekolah ni yang this long term. This long term. That's what I mean. Do you need any supported staff for your school to focus on something special for your student?
Focus that is actually a very good thing that is happening in Thailand. I think buat masa ni when we have arrangement, we will engage the professional. For example, macam bila Mr. Solehan science send the students over for work attachment atau internship dekat NUS lab, where the professionals there are teaching them the bio, the A-star, then the cells, the doctors there are teaching them.
We have a collaboration with the university, right?
Yes.
We go to
For science we have
We don't have the I mean, it's good that we have engineer come over here and attach that.
Yeah
We don't
lah.
have such program
Tapi-
here, but we try to introduce some, for example, this
yeah.
robotics.
And then the
Introduce to
architect.
my students here. So as and long when there's available program,
Yes.
we'll try to attach our students there lah. Example, last year I took part in architecture program where the kids learn about architecture. So there's all these models they make, and then one of the kids become the best architecture. So he gets attached to that company for 1 week.
Kalau dia, his school is very good strategy. His school make an MOA with the 3 university, right? At least 3 university. Kuala Lumpur University, Pindam Songkla University, Raja Ampat University. Because the school we lack of the laboratory. And then during the summer, they send the student go to the university to use. For the first year, we have to pay to the university first. For their extra time, for the tuition. But for the second year, university themselves, they set out the budget for the school.
That's nice.
Because when we send the student to the school, they also can do a research with our student. For the next year, next year we have support you, we have the budget. It's a technique, a strategy when we study in school.
That's good. Because ours we just send because we do have a few friends who are researchers and all that. Therefore we link to
We have
them.
to find our own link.
Network, our own
Correct.
network.
So, let's say for example, I might to send one kids to send to the A-star attachment to where they work together with researcher.
Yes, they'll be there he should be there for a whole year, right?
No, they'll be there for 1 month.
1 month. To do research 1 month je. Tak sebanyak.
About the pedagogy, I want to look at the pedagogy in your classroom. What pedagogy you use?
As for me, we are using Polar strategy. Polar strategy in problem solving. Mathematics, we have this Polar strategy in problem solving, where students are taught to understand the problem first. Okay, the POLYA. POLYA. Polar strategy. Okay, so students are taught to understand the problem first. Okay, and then after they understand the problem, they have to devise a plan on how to solve that problem. Okay, and then after that, how to carry on the solving. And then at the end, how they are going to check and extend. Check and extend means after they check their work whether it's correct or not, they have to redo another question to see if their solutions can be implemented to the new problem that they have given. Jadi we have been trying that for this whole year and see if it really works because Singapore mathematics have been moving into I would say more of it's more of problems. The problem solving is more of
But
nak
still
kata
in the
inquiry
top.
place tak ada lah, tapi it's high level thinking lah.
But it's still in the top of the world, the mathematics in Singapore.
In fact our students are also very good in maths.
Do you know?
We send our students.
Do you know the open approach, Japanese open approach,
Sorry?
lesson study?
The
Lesson study.
Yeah.
Japanese.
Yes.
His school use lesson study for mathematics. Japanese approach.
The approach is open approach.
Open approach. What about science? Do you have any strategy?
The
certain
main
strategy?
strategy is inquiry based.
Inquiry based.
Where they don't give the solution, make them think about how to solve the problem. More inquiry based. So do practicals. So all designs so that they inquire about how to solve that problem.
What about Islamic studies? Do you have any
Policy, problem-based learning,
problem-based learning?
project service learning.
Any other that you have your own technique that you think that this is my technique I use in the classroom?
Actually, I think different teachers have different skills in teaching lah. Okay, I have a teacher who is very good at dipsticking. So when she teach, she will always make sure she dipstick the students, and the students are very alert in her class because some of our maths class is in the afternoon. Kan, jadi hot, students fall asleep, that kind of thing. Jadi her technique really works lah. Tapi it depends on what we are talking about also lah. Because ours is mainly just assessment based. We are targeting for students to pass and able to solve problems. But we do teach them how to solve problems in life, because we tell them if you are good in maths, inshallah you are able to solve your life problem as well lah. Because a lot of things that students always ask, why are we learning this? Especially maths, algebra and things like that.
And how to link mathematics.
Yes, in life, kan? So, as for me, when I teach, right, because I'm teaching the upper side, I will take the life example that's happening in Singapore. For example, taxation. Okay, that is being taught. So we teach them, for example, tax. How you pay tax. Okay, macam buying a house, things that they will face later on in life. So how do you buy a house? How much are you supposed to pay? Between the interest, which one is better? So this kind of decision-making skills are also being taught to them.
Like the open approach. When we learning mathematics, when we were young, the teacher come to the class and
Start
satu,
by the
dua,
formula.
berapa. But now the open approach is different. We have to create a situation. For example, ayah ada $10 pergi kedai dan beli ikan, and student need to formulate the formulation,
formulas, yes.
formulation themselves.
Okay.
That is the link between the real life and the mathematics,
yes.
different from
Yes, we do
our
have that.
age.
We do have that. Pasal kalau nak ikutkan the new syllabus in mathematics, also changing towards that, where they give a whole big problem. Okay, recently I gave my students this problem where they have to plan a trip. Okay, and then they have to take which package is the best and why they take. So it's up to them to decide. But I don't penalize them if they don't take the package that I'm going to take. However, they have to give a good reason why they choose that package. So we do have that kind of teaching also in class.
For me, like I think your question technique for science.
Question technique.
Yeah, it's very important. From low level, high level, and then when the kids able to answer, you must give high level. So then linking those concepts. Then the best teacher also has to link to real life situation.
What is your perception about learning culture?
We do have in DD also, cultures. Diversity, it's under diversity.
Learning culture. Like kalau orang Melayu ni dia ada satu learning culture, kalau orang Eropah ni ada satu learning culture. What your perception on learning culture? And the culture in the 21st century, what should be?
Susah sikit nak cakap orang ni. Okay, learning culture, what I see among our students, it's very different from one family to another. It depends on the family.
Yeah.
The SES is very important. The social economic background very important. Sebab if the children come from the well-off to the family who pushes them in their academic, so far kita tak ada masalah untuk budak-budak tu terus nak belajar kesungguhan. Tapi keluarga yang mana mak bapak pun tak berpelajaran tinggi ataupun tak terlalu fokus dalam persekolahan, dia cuma tahu aku hantar anak aku pergi sekolah, dah itu sekolah uruskan semua. This kind of children, kita kena motivate dia orang.
Yeah. What I want to ask next, how do you do for the student who less learning culture
to develop their supaya dia nak
Yes.
belajar. As for me, because I handle such classes, I volunteered myself for a class yang mana kita nampak the motivation is quite low lah. Jadi what I did was I explained to them dalam mengajar maths ni, I will spend about 10 minutes just to tell them about life and the importance of having a good education. So itu pun it takes a long time. I tell you, it took me about a whole year just to have the change of mindset, the growth mindset we call it. Jadi kita nak develop that growth mindset. In fact, our teachers also, because I was sent to America for this growth mindset training lah. Okay.
Sent to teachers?
Yes, teachers training in America.
You sent teachers to America?
Yeah, I was sent there. By
How long? How long?
For about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Where?
Dekat it's Boston. Dekat Boston.
For a growing mindset.
For
the mindset.
growth mindset,
Growth mindset.
training and teacher skills lah, teaching skills. So Alhamdulillah lah. I mean, we are very glad that MUIS is helping us to develop our own skills, you know, in teaching. Jadi to motivate them, we have to change the mindset first lah.
Break
If we have the students to have the growth mindset, right, it will be a bit easier. So to change that mindset itself takes every day mesti cakap dengan diorang lah. You must spend a bit of time of your teaching time just to teach them about life.
Ada teknik nak motivasikan learning culture anak-anak tu.
Actually for me, as I teach whatever I'm teaching at DD, because usually in Islam we have a lot of
Yes, we have a lot of teaching, but in practice.
In practice, when because in DD we have tadi lah diversity operation, some high order thinking. So when we have, if I say think pair share, where they have to talk to one another, right? So I will see some group, some pair cannot answer. So when we talk about this in our school, because our discipline is very, professor is one of the things that we teach. I think you see our professional development for teachers, we want teachers to think that students can make it. Right? So when we know that we cannot put that down, so even though they cannot answer the question, even though they cannot think the way that we want it, we have to give them the encouragement. So they okay, you can, it's okay, let your trust that side. You see that this thinking, right? We know the students might not be able to answer, but we will not take it from there. We say it's okay, let us hear from the other group or the other. So from there, we want them to learn from each other. So whenever there's a presentation, okay, let's say I do my project work, and then what we were told that, okay, if you see a good project, we must show it to them. So motivate those who say, hey, how to do this? Okay, this is a good example. So as and when we do anything in the class, we have to show them the good examples so that those who are still doing, they can see, oh, this is what Ustaz wants me to do. Or because at the first I was not so sure what is it. So I think a lot of time during the class, we have to intervene to make sure that the students are on task now, and also we give them the motivation that actually you guys can do this. It's just that I know you guys need time. And there are 3 classes. The top classes, the Ihsan, then we have the Ilmi, the moderate, and the one is below the Mahari. Mahari, those are very low achievers, but we know they can do it, just that they need us to help them go through lah. We must give them the encouragement, and that's what she says now. Give me 10 minutes. For me, I don't use that 10 minutes because in my lesson that I have the time to motivate them and support lah. But the thing, if you ask me how, I think I know those people who are a bit slow, those people who need motivation, I will come to them and I will talk to them. And actually, as a class, we must show to them that actually when we learn, we don't look at people down. Everybody has their own strength. Some people can answer, some can answer, but in the end, we are learning together. I always tell them, don't be scared to make mistake or to say something that is not right, because in class we are supposed to learn. So I think the same environment is important as teachers. We shouldn't make them feel that if they are wrong, they will lose down. So that
For me, I guess it also depends on the teacher's passion. There are some teachers who are there for the students, but there are some who are there just as long as they deliver the subject, that's done their job. So again, as actually we need during our lesson observation or the student feedback, then we try to make those teachers to think about their way they are teaching.
Develop the teachers as well.
You are teaching mathematics, Islamic studies, science in English.
English.
Yes.
MashaAllah. That was a different from we always teach in
I
Thai.
think it depends on the country we come from, kan? Because our curriculum requires, I mean, at the end, we need our students to be very fluent in English, because Singapore is a country where everyone have to speak in English, you know. So macam Japan, they don't speak English, they speak Japan. You know, everything
but
is.
mathematics they're still high.
Yes.
But actually the language is not the barrier.
Yeah, language is not a
We
barrier.
can use our national language.
To teach
Depend
us.
on the teacher, the quality of teaching.
I remember there was one time I was teaching a cohort. I have to translate from English to Malay because the ability, the students' ability for English language is not that high. So in order to make them interested, I even have to translate. Okay, sekarang ini gini. So I have to explain to them in Malay just to get them interested first. Until I see they are able to understand, then I convert everything back to English.
We have a break for 10 minutes. Maybe we for the last question for this session, I want to ask about homework. Do you still give the homework to the student, or what type of the homework you give to the student?
For maths, we do still.
Do you think the homework
Have
still
to do.
still
Yes, have to.
still
Tak nak
important
macam
for
mana.
this century?
We've learned a lot of techniques actually throughout the years of our teaching here. One of it is actually flipped classroom lah. We even tried that also.
What I mean the homework is that student go back to the home and do it at home.
Yeah, true. So one of the homework was that we tried out was flipped classroom
Yeah,
lah, where
flip.
budak tengok video kat rumah and then
Balik.
lepas tu balik
Come discuss.
datang sini discuss and buat. We try that also lah. Tapi basically for especially for my subject nak tak nak I have to see the papers lah. You know, I kena mark the work to check whether the students understand or not.
Yeah, but again depend on classes lah. The good classes you give them come back online. But if you let the other classes, the homework must be done in the class itself.
Yes.
And then then teacher go around checking the work.
Sure.
If not, the work will never come back.
I think that one depends on teacher skills also.
Islamic study ada lagi homework?
DD no.
No.
DD don't have. Because we don't believe in that. We
Yeah.
do everything in. But for Arabic, we do have. For Quran, we do monthly tadribat. Kan Quran, orang belajar apa, makhraj dia apa, ustaz terangkan semua, and then they will have to do and then submit lah. That's part of biasa. But so from kelas dia practical lah.
The China to submit the homework. Student can submit the homework online through the email.
There are some email homework. Yes, we do have. Okay, in fact, macam kita certain work kata we do have early way lah. Macam basically for me memang papers, tapi I did give them online homework also. Pasal kita ada sistem where we can give online homework.
Do you think the homework still important for the future, or today and the future? Homework.
Kan on subject lah. For
Dia tengok subjek lah. Dia tengok subjek lah. And dia tengok the end target what we want, you know. Macam pasal if we are talking about the MOE syllabus yang mana they still have to sit for the national exam and all. So teachers nak terpaksa assess budak according to what MOE wanted. Kan? Jadi kalau at the end, okay, diorang kena ambil O-level soalan macam gini. Kita terpaksa kasih diorang pun kerja soalan macam gini. Jadi kalau kita kasih benda lain, nanti in the end they don't know how to answer the paper. Kesiankan budak tu juga lah.
If MOE change, insyaAllah school will change.
Yes. So kalau kata MOE change into like, because when I go to New Zealand a few years back, I see the way the system of education sana, MOE diorang very relaxed. Dia cuma keluarkan syllabus, okay, you are to cover from this grade to this grade, all this. Tak kisahlah bila. So when I go to 3 of the schools there, I notice that the education system is very relaxed. Tapi dia punya curriculum 2 hours. Teaching 2 hours straight. Okay, maths kata diorang ajar maths satu hari 2 jam terus. Ada sampai 3 jam terus. Music 3 jam. Okay, mathematics 2 jam. Cara dia ajar budak-budak pergi field. Okay, kita buat kat sini. So very enjoyable tau. Tapi when I ask about the assessment, diorang tak ada. They don't have test macam kita, paper, diorang tak ada. Jadi diorang tahu at this grade baru diorang ada. And the assessment pun when I look at the assessment, it was wow, very simple, just MCQ kind of thing, you know, that kind of assessment. Jadi tak macam kita punya lah. Kita ni very rigorous lah, seriously very rigorous. Like I've gone to a few countries itself just to study dia punya lesson technique and different school punya technique. Okay, I don't know if it can be implemented unless the government change the technique.
So, our government also changing
they are changing lah. Slowly they are
cutting
changing.
less exam and then the emphasis of less on
Yes.
grades.
Yes.
What is your expectation for next year? The new policy of education ministry. I mean, less
Less
examination.
examination.
What is your expectation?
What is my expectation,
Less homework.
Nak katakan less, okay, in terms of maths. Pasal at the end still bila when I was discussing with some of my friends from national school itself, I cakap unless they scrap the national exam at this level and maybe make it just one. Okay, kata at age of 18 everyone sit for the same, then we can change. If we still have the PSLE, we still have the O level, then we have the A level, then I think even with the scrap of the examination, people will still be focused on the exam. Pasal is still the
There is
point.
some school in Thailand, they don't care about the national level or national policy. They have no exam, but finally the student can achieve
Yes.
the high achievement.
Okay, one of those technique is actually the IB lah, where actually students will graduate with
The Thai government also was very surprised, and the other
Singapore
school
pun
very
ada.
surprised.
Singapore ada beberapa sekolah yang macam itu. And normally is the high end school where dia tak payah fokus so much on exam, tapi dia
achievement tinggi juga.
tapi dia boleh buat. Yes.
Buat the same.
Cuma bila
But they
kita
take different
discuss,
exam, right?
Huh?
They go for IB.
yeah,
They do project work
They do
instead.
project work instead of exam. Tapi dia tetap masih ada benda lah yang tu, macam portfolio lah, instead of assessment, dia kasih a long range of time just to complete a certain task. Different way of assessment lah.
Have you heard of IB?
International Baccalaureate. So Singapore pun ada certain school, only the high end school lah.
Yeah.
They have that.
Arjuna saya.
Sama juga. Thailand pun high end school lah.
Baru
Ada
try.
juga.
High end
Baru
school,
try.
sekolah swasta yang
Yeah, that school that without exams and managed to in the end pass the O levels. They sit for the same exam, is it?
yes,
They
the
have
national level they pass the national level.
they pass.
So dia tapi tak pernah ada
But in
exam.
school no exam.
Sekolah tak ada exam.
Yes.
Ajar aja.
Yeah.
So macam mana dia nak
So,
tahu?
dia nak-
Tapi dah ada test tak?
Huh?
Dah ada test tak? Just to check before they sit for the national exam nanti. Dia ada test tak? Just to check anak ni dah sampai kematangan ni.
Tak ada.
Then,
Tak
tak
ada.
ada.
Tak ada.
Semua duduk aja.
Yeah.
And then they can.
They pass.
Dia ada juga tapi tak banyak lah. They have a technique to how to know the progress of the student. They have,
I mean that would be the best lah. Of course, they love
maybe
that.
they develop a very
Tak payah set papers.
very nice instrument to evaluate the individual of the student.
But then that must come from higher end lah, kan?
Yeah, it must come from the upper body.
The
Not the lower
principal
body.
must have the.
Not even the principal, the director of education lah.
No, for us it's the principal lah. Like principal set the direction. If he set, maths must 80% be.
Oh, that one.
They have no grade, no compare with
Yeah.
the
Kalau
student.
they don't, if like that, no comparison, that would be good lah. Cuma the problem is right now still our emphasis on grading and status of each subject and the percentage pass and
They
things
went
like
to
that.
interview the parent. The parent very state. What they want to know the grade of their kid.
Yeah.
But the school they just pass, fail and pass.
That's it.
That's it. Pass.
I think I see Singapore trying to change towards that lah. Cuma Singapore parents are still questioning.
Yes.
That's the problem. Because when
The parent want to know
there was a
what the
discussion
grade
when
of their kid.
if PSLE is scrapped. Okay, PSLE is the primary examination So kalau darjah 6 tu peperiksaan tu di scrap, then parents tanya macam mana kalau gitu nak tahu anak saya ni
Yeah.
bagus ke tak bagus, nak masuk sekolah bagus ni
Betul
boleh
lah.
ke tak boleh. So
Yeah, so
Parents also plays an
MOE also
important part.
work with the direction. Now they cannot put the student's position. They cannot put student pass or fail. So just give a grade, and the grade, if they fail, cannot be in red. It cannot be underlined. So just a number only. That's what MOE trying to do lah.
Yeah.
And inshallah maybe we try also lah.
About the
Kita
student
dah
voice.
macam tu.
About the student voice.
Student
student
award.
Student voice. Voices.
Voice.
Voice,
Student
okay.
voice. Okay.
In the classroom level, do you give a priority to the student voice? Can they suggest it to the teachers?
Oh, they
Their-
can.
They
They
can
can.
reflection
Can.
their learning.
Yes, in my class, in fact, I like students to tell me. Macam, for example, bila my technique
the
is like
student
this.
dare to tell, right?
Ya, dia macam gini. My technique of teaching dah kata I teach them a certain concept. Lepas tu I kasih diorang kertas untuk buat. Then diorang buat, lepas tu diorang pergi kat buat diorang ajar macam kita. So I use that technique, tapi can only be taught at higher level. Pasal we get the students to try and behave or model like us. Jadi diorang interested bila kita nampak pemahaman diorang bila diorang mengajar dalam kelas. Jadi but if they want feedback in terms of student feedback, they do. Teacher, I think we should be trying this. So I will try to change a bit of my technique to what suits them.
I want to know the Islamic study. Maybe Ustaz.
Tapi boleh fikirkan micro teaching ada boleh belum lagi, tapi insyaAllah saya rasa boleh fikirkan. But I think it's good lah to see, to know a person know something is when he or she explain the thing. But kita belum lagi, tapi saya rasa bagus lah, kita akan cuba.
Pasal that of all the techniques, tapi cuma sayangnya not every cohort can be done like that, because I've seen certain cohorts they are more susceptible to trying this out. Tapi saya ada cohort yang langsung tak nak. Macam kita cakap, okay come let's try. Duduk tak nak buat. Tak nak, just plainly don't want because they are too shy. Try to get them to open up pun diorang tak nak. So in the end, because to break that the teacher have to continue on. We have to change our strategy just to suit the class. So of so many class levels, there are certain cohorts yang I didn't manage to do it with them lah, sebab the students are not willing to participate itself.
What about in science? Do you have the opportunity to the students to give a feedback,
Yeah, I always
reflection?
ask my students to give feedback whenever I'm teaching what areas want me to improve and so on. Then they give suggestions. For example, they like to have more Kahoot or stuff. So I do try to hear to their voices. Yeah.
There was school at the end of the wall of the classroom. There are two parts. I like, dislike, and after class, the teacher asked the student, "Okay, the student, go behind to the wall and you write. Today, listen what you like and what you dislike."
Yes.
The teacher said that for the first time they did it. Sometimes they very stressed, they cry. Why the student don't like my class? But after that, this teacher can improve.
Yes. There
And
okay.
finally, only like and not some only few students.
We do have the reflection part lah in our teaching lesson kan. Kita akan at the end selalunya we tell our teachers to do the reflection. Tapi we don't manage to do it all the time lah. Because yalah, like I said, satu time constraint, a lot of things to cover for the syllabus, you know. Habis yalah, quite a lot of work lah.
I went to Indonesia and Johor Bahru. The student, we interview the student. The thing that the student give the feedback, the open-minded of the teachers. The open-minded, because sometimes they want to reflect, give feedback, but teacher don't open their mind. That's the problem. And also very challenge for the Islamic study. Ustazah, we are growing in the Islamic study that we can tak boleh nak kritikkan ustaz macam ni
Adab belajar
adab
dia.
belajar. How we have to talk about this.
Yes.
What is the scope, the level the student can give feedback to the
When I
teachers?
teach my students, bila I saw ada budak nak kasih feedback kan, so I teach them cara nak kasih feedback pada guru.
Yeah.
Because certain times bila budak kalau kasih feedback cara yang salah, kita anggap budak tu kurang ajar.
You have to teach them how to give a feedback
Jadi
in
yes,
a good
so
manner.
I teach them. Dia cakap, okay, if you want to give me feedback, okay, look at my mood also. Okay, when I'm in a rush, I'm in a rush, I need to finish certain things, you hold on first. But you can always come to me later, come to me personally and tell me about it. Cakap, tapi kalau kata you think it will benefit the whole class, you tunggu dulu sampai tu. You jangan main masuk terjah aja. Cakap orang tengah, I mean like, because teachers also ada mood. Kita manusia, kadang-kadang kita masuk dengan keadaan marah, masalah kat sini, masalah kat sana. Jadi I teach them lah how to face it, and I tell them pasal, and even the class dynamics also. Certain classes they are bright children, easier to teach them. Certain students tak. Okay, and the kind of feedbacks they give are also quite different lah.
It's the issues because the 21st century learning, we have to concern about student voices, student feedback.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for us, the madrasah, the Islamic school, also in southern Thailand, we don't know how to this culture for in the school. The student not there enough to give a feedback to the teacher.
Macam kita ada this one what we call PC lesson, pastoral care lesson. So the form teacher will come in and then students will talk to the teacher. Okay, diorang akan discuss, talk. So from there nanti teachers akan dapat feedback lah. So for some cases, kalau kita tengok the feedback is quite heavy and important to be shared, the teachers will just go to the other teachers siapa yang perlu and share with the teacher. So that itself helps lah.
The school, sekolah, do you have like when you know the student result and you analyze for this year why the average of the student performance is high, why it is low? Did the school inform to the subject, to the teacher?
Yes, in fact we do share with
For
the
your
teachers.
improvement?
Yeah, we do. Every year, the data analysis part is done by us, by me. And then once the grading all kita dah letak, kita akan tunjukkan percentage lah. And Mr. Hemat, our principal have a way of telling us what is the grade we should be in to know that we have value add to that particular group of students.
Among the joint school curriculum, do you have like the standard test to compare with the Al-Junaid, with other
We
school?
don't compare ourselves to Al-Junaid, but we compare ourselves to the national.
When
That's
you
what
use
Mr. Hemat
the
MUIS will give
Oh,
us
yes.
the results. They will
MUIS compare. MUIS
Yeah,
also
just-
analyze the performance.
Yes, they only started it last 2 years
They should
last
do
year, this year.
Salam.
Salam Semakum
Tapi itu
Association
pun boleh buat
level.
teacher stress.
Stress.
Yes, the
Yeah,
stress is
myself
on the
beyond
teachers.
grades.
Yes, it's still grading. Jadi kalau kita memanglah in a way bila kita buat comparison like that, good for us to know. Tapi at the other end, it's stressful for the teachers. Nanti principal pula jadi stress. Bila principal jadi stress,
you
teachers jadi
see
stress.
what you feel, student also feel like that when you compare
Betul,
our students.
exactly. So that's why.
That's why we don't need to
Betul.
attend.
Betul. Sebab tu ministry also they realise, I think that's where they go wrong, where they start to rank the school accordingly.
No more.
Jadi
No more ranking.
MOE kena scrap because they know when they did that, the principal becomes stressed, everyone want to be number one, and then the teachers become stressed, the student becomes stressed. So to get rid of that, they get rid of the ranking, school ranking, they get rid. Tapi still, we do have outsiders who did the ranking for the schools, I remember.
The school have any standard that to confirm that teachers are teaching according to the standard of the school, to confirm that the teacher are teaching in, they don't know how to teach, how to manage the classroom.
Okay, we have lesson
Is there a
observations.
criteria like observation?
We do have lesson observations. So from there we can know whether our teachers where they are, and then to help to improve them lah. Bukan to sack them ataupun fire them, but to help grow them. Lesson
Singapore,
observation.
you still have the quality insurance for the school? The quality insurance.
Oh,
Like apa
No,
standard
we don't.
sekolah quality ke tahap mana yang national.
Untuk private school tak ada.
Tak ada potential.
Private school tak ada, tapi I know national school they do have this where
Tak ada dari MOE datang ke sekolah untuk nak check apa semua tak
Oh,
ada.
the schools have.
in national school have,
Yeah, MOE
tapi
Private school no.
private school tak ada. Private school tak ada. Tapi for PSLE kita ada. Sebab tu kita ada benchmarking.
For level betul
for
aja.
PSLE madrasah tetap ada. Sebab tu kita ada what government said benchmark for madrasah. Kita kena lulus a certain level baru maknanya kita okay, we are level up. Jadi kita boleh ambil budak. Kalau kita tak sampai that level, kita tak boleh ambil
Madrasah
budak.
Al-Irsyad.
Yes.
Dia ada masalah dengan
Yang ada masalah was
Secondary.
Wak Tanjung. Oh,
Secondary,
tak,
secondary.
secondary, yeah. So it's phasing out lah. That's
They
why
used
we
to
are
visit
taking.
Al-Irsyad. They say that before dia ada sekolah.
Before they was
they were the
yeah.
Malaysia
So
private,
ours was stronger in secondary. That's why we became the secondary. Our strength is actually in secondary academic. That was our strength. When we wanted to merge, right, the three madrasah, they look at all the strength of the three madrasahs. So alternate strength is actually in the Rawi component. Ours is in the academic secondary and Isha is in the
The problem in Thailand is we use the national test. The government school, the private school, Islamic school use the same test. When they use the national test and the scores come up,
tak sampai level
sekolah agama ni
bawah
the lowest.
Oh.
Top of bawah.
Top from bottom.
So that's the problem. Also the school, the Islamic school in southern Thailand is so the problem about the student performance. And the government asks the question, why we already support you the money, the budget, but how to you can improve the student performance? And when they look at the curriculum, itulah macam madrasah lah, we teach akidah, we not sepadu, not no integration.
Tapi teachers dia train tak? Ada teachers
Ada
dia teachers
train, ada. We
they
have
go
a
for
train,
training and all lah.
but still not enough.
Probably when they go to madrasah, the intention is to do well in academic or they want to go to Rawi seminary.
Yes, betul.
You know what I mean?
It depend on the student.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
like we have macam
Exactly.
intake macam intake ni buat tak pandai, ni buat tak pandai.
Oh.
Belajar sikit, not focus.
Macam that is what happened
Yeah,
lah.
problem.
Menyebabkan kenapa kita jadikan the GMS join madrasah system
I
is
very
because of
very
that.
appreciate
Jadi
in your approach in Singapore.
yeah,
Your
so
focus to
mula-mula
academics.
And
Ah,
seminary.
jadi that's the thing. Madrasah dulu kita buat everything juga, kan?
Macam tu lah, macam dulu lah.
Yes.
Semua
jadi,
nak pandai semua.
betul. So in the end, bila when we join together, we discuss and things like that, we realise that kalau kita nak kekalkan madrasah kita supaya kita boleh bagus, then kita kena specialise. Jadi specialisation tu yang datang, okay, Arabia buat akademik, Aljunied buat Ukrawi, siapa nak pergi Al-Azhar pergi Aljunied, siapa nak jadi profesional masuk NUS, NTU, semua pergi Arabia. Then Irsyad dia fokus primary supaya dia orang dapat berjaya dan naik. Jadi pasal kalau Irsyad tak berjaya, kita seperti sekolah tutup.
This is what I'm going to say to the Thai government. You have to force the school to choose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nak ke agama ke, nak ke negeri Arab ke, focus on the language Arabic
Yes.
and English.
Yeah.
For academic,
Itu
you need
waktu
to focus
mendengar
on
lah.
academic. And you have to change your curriculum, you have to integrate your
Yes.
curriculum.
That
You must remember, as much because dia madrasah kan, sekolah agama kan,
Yes.
the agama pun must be there.
Must be there.
You know, ada macam buat, then the
Yes.
Arabic must be there.
Yes.
Because if not, it doesn't serve.
It doesn't become
Tapi
a
dia punya
madrasah.
tu tak akan besar. Tapi kita sure orang juga tahu. Dan sama mereka belajar tak belajar agama lah. Parents akan tanya, habis saya ada madrasah, tak belajar agama, belajar Indonesia ke sekolah biasa.
Yes.
Akan tak ada di situ.
Pasal kalau kita nak tengokkan, kita ada 3 sekolah di madrasah di Singapura yang tak join the JMS.
Yeah.
And they are doing okay. Both academic and ukrawi level macam Al-Sagaf pasal dia all girls, Ma'rif all girls. Okay, the other one is Wak Tanjung might be joining us soon lah because dia punya head baru pass away. Okay, jadi from what I was able to see, to view, these two madrasah, even though they don't make a choice, they are still okay with both exams, ukrawi and academic. how did they do that? Maybe because they are girls, I don't know. So kita suka belajar, dia belajar. Tapi I mean coming to a co-ed school, I noticed that our students tend to choose. Dia sampai satu tahap umur bila waktu primary mak bapak masuk ke madrasah pasal nak jadi ustaz. Masuk dengan teacher, saya tak nak jadi ustaz, saya nak masuk jadi engineer. Then interest to the Ukrawi dah lesson. That is what I see sebelum kita join the JMS. Itu yang saya nampak. Jadi saya nampak saya ada anak murid lulusan O-level very good, pasal fikir nak masuk universiti, nak jadi engineer. Sekali bapak kata tak boleh, pergi masuk dia kena masuk Kafis dekat South Africa, sekarang dah jadi ustaz. Jadi saya ingat waktu dah habis peperiksaan tu, dia call saya, message, teacher cakap dah dengan bapak saya tak nak pergi sana, saya nak jadi. So saya cakap dengan dia, tak apa Farouk, awak ikutlah nasihat mak bapak, berkat hidup. Saya cakap gitu. So in the end dia ikutkan, followed, dan sekarang dia dah jadi ustaz. So I guess benda-benda ni pun parents also play an important part lah. Pasal parents have their own ideology what they want the children to be. Tapi dah besar tu anak nak lain pula. Jadi conflict of interest tu that one also we need to be able to manage lah. Sebab tu
boleh jelaskan apa ni kriteria yang betul-betul ini sekolah fokus ke akademik.
Fokus ke akademik.
Yang itulah, kalau pilih di sini, ini sekolah akademik.
Okay.
Have less of the unlisted subjects.
Yes. Walaupun ada komponen Ukrawi, percentage yang kita berikan is like 30-70 lah. Academic more of 70% of the lessons, whereas the Ukrawi studies is about 30%, including with the Arabic and all. So bila kita buat curriculum, bila timetabling tu, kita kena check lah that is the balance lah.
Apakah sekolah ada identiti sekolah? Kalau kita sebut kata, apakah karakteristik yang anak-anak sekolah Al-Arabiah? 3, kalau 3, sebut 3 apa? Yang terang-terang boleh nampak different from other school. Do you think it is strong for your student?
Science kita bisa
Scientific person.
Scientist?
Dan memang sini terus kita punya mission nak jadikan mereka thinker.
Satu yang thinker.
Ya, thinker.
Yang kedua ada
ada juga takwa.
Ya.
Dan yang satu
Compassionate.
Tapi nampak 5 itu kan.
Itu
apa?
values.
Itu values itu.
To rise.
values.
Itu yang value yang kita ajar lah. Yang kita nak terapkan, pelajar-pelajar kita kena rise the respect.
So far 5 value itu jadi tak dalam student?
InsyaAllah lah. Saya rasa insyaAllah budak-budak saya alhamdulillah baik-baik. Saya diorang. Kalau saya lah, pasal awak tanya individual teacher saya rasa insyaAllah saya budak-budak saya ada ciri-ciri itu. Mungkin kekurangan adalah sikit dua, tapi insyaAllah dua ada.
Dalam kelas tu kita integrasikan value semua itu masuk dalam sains, dalam matematik, ada tak?
Antara values yang kita ajar, responsibility kata, so kita ajar diorang cara submission of homework lah. That is part of responsibility.
Like taqwa, you said taqwa. Do you integrate taqwa in science, in mathematics? Is something studied? Okay.
Dia dengan buat ni information, dia dengan buat. Dia still the process.
Yeah. As I said, we just introduced this Islamic and science. I just introduced this year.
Integrate.
Inshallah, we'll have more lah. At first, when I joined here, I thought I want to put the surah Quran that can be related to my science topics, right?
Actually, we do have, it's better have it.
Yeah, but not many lah.
Not many, only certain topics saja.
Yeah, for example, like about how baby was formed, right?
That one ada. And then about iron. So if you see outside our science lab, that's how we develop our first science syllabus. Yang I remember that was in the late 2008-2009. Kita develop the science syllabus where we do have the slides where certain topics saja. For example, iron dengan pregnancy, development of an atom. So these three part is easier for students to see kan. Jadi kita buat tu lah at that time lah. Jemputlah, mau makan.
Kita sudahkan soalan, semua dah habis soalan.
Dah habis soalan?
Dah habis.
Okay.
Dah habis soalan. Masya Allah, terima kasih, jazakallah khair. We have learning a lot of information, and this knowledge and information inshallah will be the ilmu jariyah to the Muslim school, Islamic school in southern Thailand, because when we want to invite everyone to Patani, we are most welcome.
Boleh, insyaAllah. Boleh.
Our plan, my plan, after we finish this first phase of the research, my second year I will propose another budget, inshallah. I may choose 3 schools in Thailand, and I will ask the
Teachers to come for training
teacher,
here.
you may be the coach
InsyaAllah.
our school in Thailand.
Untuk bantu insyaAllah.
Ya, untuk bantu. Belum ini kita dapat budget dari Temasek Foundation for the school in southern Thailand.
InsyaAllah.
And now we use the books Ustaz Daman Huri, Ustaz Daman Huri.
Yes,
Dia ada buku integrasi Islamic English
Yes,
ke.
because last time he was
Now we
in
use
charge
it.
in Kim, the director for Kim's.
Fitrah. Now we use it in Thailand.
I think he'll be very happy.
We get a copyright from
si
the head,
Mujahid
and we
punya
print
bapak,
up,
yes.
we print it in Thailand and
Anak
we
dia kat
distribute.
sini.
Anak dia sini. Oh, masya Allah.
Kita ajar anak dia.
Kita jumpa bila Isa Daman Huri. So, he always many some of the school administrators.
Yes, I know
Al-Irshad,
Muhammadiyah
we went to
members
southern
banyak
Thailand to
bantu
training
kat
the
sana.
teachers.
Yes. That one I know because my father was also member of Muhammadiyah who went there before to help
So
with
in
certain school.
southern Thailand, they only have a choice to go madrasah. Are they able to go to secular school also?
No, they have a
Orang dah
choice.
memang-
They have a choice,
We have
But in southern Thailand, parents they prefer to send the student
ada
to
jaringan sekolah
madrasah.
tapi tidak joy ya.
So far in 300 school, only one school, his school that use the same curriculum as
Macam
your
kita.
macam
I think
integrasi.
kena
Sekolah lain
nak
macam
tak
dulu
nak
semua,
kena
macam
berubah lah.
madrasah
Dia
biasa.
dia
Ada
bukan
akidah,
pondok
pondok modern.
Cuma your school aja yang the modern
Ya, kurikulum masih
madrasah.
macam dulu kan.
Ini mesti principal willing to change lah. Kalau
Then,
principal willing to change,
Student
insyaAllah.
kena belajar 10
Mata pelajaran.
sehari.
Boleh
From
10
eight
sekolah sekarang
to 4.
bukan satu.
Penat.
Ours is 7:30 to 4. Kita punya sekolah. Dan pasal kita nak terapkan solat di sekolah and
But
things like
okay, for you have a lot of activities during
A
the.
lot.
But in Thailand, 10
Teacher penat.
mata pelajaran from 8 to
Duduk
4.
macam ni.
Oh.
10 mata pelajaran.
Wah, penat. Itu tak
dua kelas.
budak-budak
So
boring.
40 minutes.
Cannot-
40
cannot.
minutes.
They
40
cannot
minutes,
focus.
10 subject. 5 academic, 5 agama.
Atau PE, everything?
Kalau periksa 20
Ada lihat tak?
subjek.
Ya dah.
Iya,
Ada, tapi kurang tak banyak.
Tapi PE pun satu jam lah.
Ya, ada
satu
minggu ni.
Ya, satu.
CCA ada. CCA dong curriculum
CCE ni lah.
CCA.
macam ada
uniform
mana
group.
ke
Adalah extra curriculum ada.
ada.
Tapi tak banyak.
Kalau macam sekarang kita pergi sekolah pun from 7:30 to 4. Jadi bila time kita buat timetable tu,